Hi, I'm Jonathan Huber. Today I'd like to talk with you about the process of funding your trust. Now, this is the second most important part of your estate planning process. First is creating the trust, and second is making sure you have assets in it. I often describe the trust like a box. It's a vehicle for transferring assets to your heirs, but the assets, in order for them to flow through the trust, they have to be in the trust. And so the funding process is the process of actually transferring the assets to the trust. For real estate, like your home or maybe investment properties that you have, that process is pretty straightforward. A deed is drafted and it's signed and recorded with the recorder's office, and that actually transfers title of the property into your trust. For other accounts, like brokerage accounts, you can retitle those and have them directed to the trust so that the trust owns them during your lifetime. You can also change the beneficiary on certain accounts. Typically for brokerage accounts, checking accounts, savings accounts, things like that, even retirement accounts, there's an option to name a beneficiary. If you name the trust as the beneficiary of your account, those accounts will flow to the trust after you pass away. While you're alive, the assets will be outside the trust, and so they're not going to be managed by a trustee, but after you pass away, they pass directly to the trust by beneficiary designation without going through the probate process, which is typically, a key thing that we're trying to avoid is don't go to probate, right? So that's the process of transferring those accounts into the trust. We can also do general assignments that say it's your intent for these certain assets to be in the trust. The downside to relying on a general assignment for a titled asset like a bank account is that the bank doesn't have those instructions in front of them when they come to the point of making distributions. And in order for the bank to actually recognize your wishes, they would require a court order. Getting a court order would require going through what we call a Hegstead petition process. And the courts are typically very willing to give a court order, but we still have to go to court. It takes a few months and, typically several $1,000s to get that order. So it's important to avoid that you have the trust named either as a beneficiary or as an owner of all of your accounts that you want to flow through the trust during your lifetime.